Alright guys, and welcome to the January 2019 recording of SomeCast. At the moment, we are only three today. There is myself, Cameron, Raymond, and Mark in here.
I mean, the way you phrased that made it sound like you were two different people, but I can confirm that Cameron is in fact one person.
No, I am in fact two people. The left butt cheek and the right butt cheek.
Oh my god. No.
So, even though this says that Anton and Graham are online, they're not. They're lying.
They're filthy heathens and vagrants.
Yeah.
Hi, did someone call my name?
Yes, I did.
Filthy heathen or filthy vagrant?
I mean, either or. But at least I'm online.
This is something they can't say.
You showed up. Well done.
Confirmed, Mark. You're successful at showing the fuck up. Woo.
It's a valuable skill set. Alright, well...
Regardless, we're here to have a good giggle and a good chat about absolutely fuck all.
If we say anything meaningful, it's by accident. But, anyway...
What's up in the world of magic?
Well, I was going to say to start with, we've sort of changed up the format for this a little bit, and hopefully everything will be timestamped and in the description below, but we'll be starting with news, followed by games discussion, and for something different, a bit of a general pop culture discussion afterwards.
We're not really the most accurate news forum, because apparently this is a once-a-month thing, but I mean, hey...
Yeah, and most of the old news by the time...
You have some form of news, right?
Or more some sort of opinion, because we're more of an opinion piece.
I don't believe in opinions. It's fake news.
Fake news.
Fuck.
Alright, well, let's start off with the one that, and by one I mean the gigantic blob, that's probably most meaningful to those of us that are here, of everything that Activision Blizzard has done wrong in the last month. So... For those that haven't been following, we'll start at BlizzCon, where Mike Morhaime stood down as CEO and president, but he is now leaving Blizzard, and it was sort of discovered that while he stepped down as CEO and president, J. Allen Barrack?
Oh no, the guy who said, you think you do, but you don't.
Oh, J. Allen Brack, sorry.
Yeah.
He stepped up to president. There's 3 letters missing there. Essentially, Activision Blizzard stripped the CEO position out of Blizzard.
Oh, I thought it was Mark is hot was missing. Okay, alright, my bad.
Oh, yep. On top of this, both Blizzard and Activision Blizzard lost their CFOs, which, if you're involved in corporate world, is probably a significant thing, but to everybody else, who gives a shit? Bungie has leaving Activision, supposedly to the point of cheering in the office when they got the news. What else? We had the Heroes of Storm team basically gutted and reassigned and esports cancelled, and conveniently, about 2 weeks after all that blew up in their face, they announced a new hero.
Oh.
So, I'm totally saying...
they're going to be reassigned back into Heroes of the Storm?
Yeah, they've been reassigned back in. Congratulations. Hang on, let me just quickly pop over to the Heroes of the Storm subreddit. I like that when I type in Heroes of the Storm, it autocorrects it to Heroes of Newith.
Oh, nice. And the other one that, probably the biggest one for us here, is that there was a very nice Redditor, who hopefully I will be able to put the Reddit thread up on screen when we come to this part, that managed to pull some analytics about the WoW subscriber counts, and basically their analysis came out that there's probably somewhere about 2.5 and 3 million people left subscribed based on what they could pull together as data, and the correlation between that and past subscriber counts, which would mean that WoW's down to the lowest subscriber count it's been since 2005.
I don't really get all that though, because I've never subscribed. I'm always game time, so I'm not too sure how I count to the statistics.
Nah, they count everybody that had game time in the last couple of months. I think
so it's not just subscriptions.
I'm pretty sure it's everybody that had game time being subscription or purchase or buying it with gold in the each quarter or something along those lines.
Yep.
So yeah, we would all count. But yeah. So basically Activision Blizzard is going through the shit heap at the moment. Either of you got any thoughts, or is Raymond too busy reading Reddit?
I'm watching the Imperious Spotlight for Heroes of the Storm.
Well, Mark, as the resident Destiny player, how do you feel about Bungie leaving?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I've only played it casually, but I'm not 100% sure how much Activision played a role in what they've done to Destiny, or what they've done to Destiny 2. So, I guess only the future will tell whether, when they go out on their own and they still fuck up and they don't have anyone to fall back on and blame, or whether they do awesome and, you know.
I gotta admit, I was thinking about that and thinking, well, it's hard to tell whether or not Anton has reconnected, but under a different username.
Easy solution. Kick Graham, kick Anton, and pull Anton in.
Well, I will let Anton rejoin. And Anton, can you hear us?
Oh my god.
Anton, are you there?
Hello.
Oh my god,
Oh.
he's alive.
Hello.
The princess has awoken. Awakened?
You're hurting my feelings.
So, Anton, we were just talking about Bungie leaving Activision. Now, you're a long-term Halo fan, so how do you feel about Bungie no longer having a publisher attached to them?
I am actually very excited about that. Personally, I think that it's a good news for gamers all around the world, because having someone overseeing their work means that a lot of creativity is restricted by Activision. And seeing as Halo, in my opinion, is their last Halo as in the pre-343 Industries era, is the last decent game they've made or been involved in. It's a good direction for them to be taking.
I'm going to say that that's a massive stab at Destiny. But I do get what you mean. I'm just wondering whether or not some of the good design and some of the generally consumer-friendly features of the Halo series came down to a Microsoft versus Activision debate, or if that was what the time and environment was debate.
I think it was also like a generational thing. Like, that's how the games were made then, and now they're trying to make them different. But like, we sort of still like the old versions, but you know, they're trying to move on with the times. I don't know whether Halo 3 would work great if they remade that game now.
Yeah, well, I think that's the underlying question. If Bungie remade Halo 3 or, God, maybe even Halo Reach now, would it be closer to Destiny and what we saw with Destiny, or would that actually be closer to what we originally saw, or would we be getting something completely different?
I think it's a uncharted territory for Bungie right now, because historically, doing remasters like the StarCraft remaster had been a good opportunity for companies to reuse an existing title, get some more money from it, and build a new engine along while they with minimum investment. And with Bungie, I can see them remaking Halo 3 and Halo Reach, because it's been, about 10 years? And back in the days, when people asked them whether they wanted to make a remaster like they did with Halo and Halo 2 Anniversary, their answer was no, partially because, I guess, budget concerns, and also because of the lack of new technologies available to make it worthwhile.
But weren't the Halo 1 and 2 remasters a 343 thing, not a Bungie thing?
I was about to say, haven't they sold all rights to that
Yeah.
Halo franchise to Microsoft anyway?
Going back to Halo would mean going back to Microsoft and
And
condensing
kicking
Microsoft.
343 Industries out.
Yeah.
Yes, but in order to keep the games true to their origins, they would have to, whether they like it or not, involve as many of the original crew as possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't work, because the entire point is to drag older players back into the mix and possibly convince them that the series is worth looking into again, and that they should play the newer games if they haven't already.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, but I suspect Microsoft's moved on from Bungie. I think Microsoft's in a position now that they've decided that Halo is 343's thing now, and not Bungie. If in the incredible scenario where Bungie went back and worked with Microsoft, I think it would be more that they're allowed to work with, they're not given it back. And actually on that, I'm pretty sure Bungie's almost stated that their intention is to go solo at this point and just not be attached to any publisher at all. Not to go back and be tied to some different publisher, even with leaving Activision.
I think their
track
current aims would be either a Destiny 3 or even just a whole new franchise, to be honest.
Well, given that they were allowed to keep the rights to Destiny, I'm pretty sure Destiny 3 is on the cards.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them try and do something other than space aliens. But see what happens.
So, you want Bungie to not be Bungie?
Yeah. I mean, Bungie be Bungie, just not Bungie.
Bungie be different Bungie.
Be Bungie cool.
I think one of the reasons why Microsoft is stepping back from 343 Industries and Bungie by extent is because they try to take the Halo IP and make a new type of game out of it, like the Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, and it didn't go so well with them. And because they couldn't really make something other than FPS and RTS out of Halo, because let's face it, Halo it's been a good franchise, it's a good FPS, but if they make any more games out of the title, it would really be like beating a dead horse. A bit like I guess Call of Duty.
Wow.
Fucking feels in the chat for Call of Duty.
Shots fired.
Well,
I mean, imagine if you made an RTS of Call of Duty, though.
Yeah, that's just Command and Conquer.
I was going to say,
if you can do that, you might as well make a turn-based strategy game.
Oh, as in make Call of Duty a turn-based strategy game. I was going to say, isn't RTS Call of Duty just Company of Heroes?
Yeah.
Alright, the other big piece of news from the last month was Epic's game store sort of taking off. So, again, for those that aren't aware, Epic's now trying to reach out to third-party developers. They're promising to take a smaller slice of the profits compared to what Steam does. And they're actually trying to lock down exclusive, and I believe they've actually locked in that Division 2, which, for I don't know why you're hunting Division 2 of all games as an exclusive, but Division 2 is going to be a temporary exclusive to Epic Store.
I mean, isn't Division 2 Ubisoft?
Yeah, that's why it's like, that's weird anyway, because...
Why wouldn't Uplay be exclusive?
Well,
well, in order for it to be exclusive, Uplay has to be relevant.
I get the strange feeling that this is also a way to get Uplay installed on a lot of people who use Epic Store's hard drive, because...
I guess, yeah, would it go, you have to use Uplay through Epic Store?
Yeah, Epic Store is just going to load up Uplay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So...
I mean, does that also then mean Assassin's Creed and all that might follow suit and be an Epic Store exclusive?
Oh, please no.
Don't know. This could be this could be the developing of a new friendship between Epic and Ubisoft.
How about no? Facebook
Actually,
says no.
The other one that sort of came with this, of while Steam was trying to work out what the hell to do about pricing, and well, to sort of to counter this and just be different, was at one point Steam announced that they were going to have a tiered pricing scheme where they took a smaller amount of your sales figures depending on the number of sales you made. So a game that actually sold more copies, Steam would take less of a percentage per copy.
Okay.
Now, there was an enormous amount of hatred for it, but I rambled away in a previous video, I think it was one of the Spyro ones, that I actually thought this wasn't a bad idea, because it actually means that if you're a quality game on Steam that's doing well,
yeah, Steam
is actually incentivizing you to do well and continue to do well.
And it also, I guess, promotes patchwork on top of the, first one version release. Like, they're not just going to do one version release and just leave the game by itself.
Yeah, it means a game that sticks around for the long term and continues to grow a player base is progressively going to actually make more and more money, not just because of more and more sales, but because Steam will give you a larger and larger percentage of what you sell.
Yeah.
So, I gotta admit, I thought it was a decent idea. I did understand that there was the point of, it meant that if you're an indie developer, you were stuffed, or you were getting the short end of the stick. But Steam wasn't putting up the price for a independent developer.
Yeah, it's still the same price.
Well, Steam's now actually decided that they're just going to drop the price for everyone anyway to counteract. Well, I would argue to counteract Epic more than anything else. But yeah, it was going to be that a indie developer would get the same price as, like, a small developer that only sold a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand copies, I don't know what the exact cutoff number was, would still be paying exactly the same price that you currently, were paying up until that point to be on Steam. But if you started selling a lot more, again, I'm not sure what the exact number was, maybe it was 100,000 or something, or maybe 1 million, then Steam would lower the price.
That's a shame. Like, I don't mind a good indie game, and like, if there was some sort of system which promoted them to actually fix all their massive bugs, then I would be all for that. But because I've got a few games in my library that just feel like they've been abandoned and they're just buggy as hell.
Well, I gotta admit, the other way I looked at it is Steam's got a massive shitpile problem.
Yes.
The Steam store is nearly impossible to navigate.
Sorry, I dropped something.
The pile of shit on Steam?
Yep.
Like, when was the last time somebody opened the Steam store and actually could easily find new good games that they hadn't heard of?
Yeah, not very often.
I've gotten to the stage of where, for events, Steam forces you to do that queue thing if you want the cards, to actually looking forward to do that, because it's just a chance that I might find something different in the 36 that I have to look at in the day to get the card, or to get the 3 cards, that I might find one half-decent game.
Yeah, I don't really do the cards, but I did look at my queue the other day, and that's how I found that Katrina Classic, and that was a pretty good. recommended games I actually would play.
Yeah.
I don't know how much good this would do because if you think about it, these game stores are basically like Spotify and Google Play and Apple Play or Apple Music, and it didn't really do the musicians, the artists, much good. The pricing is good in theory. It should give the indie developers a bit more exposure, but the question is, does it really get them more sales at this point? Because the stores like Origin and Steam are pretty mature at this rate, and if you're gonna find games, if you're gonna look for games, like the first thing that comes to your mind is Steam or like whatever other game store you use.
But like, if you look at all the major entries, they're all ones that lock you in because of something else. Like even Steam itself captured its audience because it tied all of the Source Engine games to it. So if you wanted to play Counter-Strike, if you wanted to play Half-Life, if you wanted to play Portal, you had to install Steam. And Origin did much the same thing when it came round of, hey, if you want to play Battlefield 3, guess where you're coming? And now Epic's doing the same thing of, well, you've already got our client installed if you're playing Fortnite, so why don't you just buy your games here?
But looking at the population of Fortnite, I'm not entirely sure if its popularity could sustain Game Store, because I do believe it has a substantial substantial amount of young players, which means they're not the ones who pay for the games.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily the person that's paying for the games that's actually dictating what store it was bought from all the time. I don't know about you guys, but even growing up, if I wanted to buy a game, even before having credit card, I was the one that still dictated it. If I was buying it off Steam or buying a physical copy, it wasn't, oh no, parents buying the game, therefore they decide exactly which store it's being bought from.
Yeah, exactly. And like, even if like it's a gift or something, I'm pretty sure kids nowadays get like Steam cards for birthday presents and stuff.
Yeah, and hasn't Epic already started bringing out cards for theirs?
Possibly.
I thought they had. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I mean, I know there's V-Bucks and all that stuff. There's cards for that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, I think that if they want to capture a game market, they're doing it exactly the same way everybody else has done it.
I would give Epic a chance. I wouldn't hold it against it that Fortnite is their major thing.
Well, I still remember Epic more for Unreal Tournament than I do for anything else, so...
Yeah, I played Paragon for a while.
Oh, yeah. I think the other big one, though, is, if you're making something with Unreal Engine, there is absolutely no reason for you not to list it on the Epic Store, because...
No.
Oh, there you go, Graham actually left. Because Epic's price is essentially what you're going to pay for the Unreal Engine licensing fee if you go anywhere else anyway.
Yep.
So if you're making your game in Unreal, then there's literally no reason to not list your game on Epic's Store. Yeah, go ahead and list it on other places. You're going to get a hell of a lot bigger cut on the Epic Store than you're going to get anywhere else, because they've waived all the other fees. You just have to pay the one fee if you're on Epic Store, whereas if you list your game through Steam and you made it on Unreal, you have to pay the Steam fee as well as the Unreal Engine fee.
Yep.
So, I don't think what they're doing is too bad, and I think this is the first one in a while that's actually got a fair chance of taking some market space off Steam. Because if you look at all the other contenders, they've all been very much, no, this is just my bucket of games. Anyway, did anybody else have any other news items to bring up?
Did you see the rumor mill about Amazon Gaming making a gaming streaming service?
I'd heard of that, but wasn't really sure what the details of it.
I originally thought it was sort of like, what's the Origin thing? The EA Access or something. I thought it was something like that. I didn't realize it's the streaming, so like some sort of servers somewhere else, and you just on your tablet and you do the controls and sends you feedback. Sort of like, what's the PlayStation thing? PlayStation Now?
Yeah, PlayStation Now.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure how that's going to take off, especially in Australia with our very crappy internet.
PlayStation Now is a different one, but we'll circle back to that.
Anyone thoughts?
Personally, I'm reading about it right now. So, somebody else go?
Well, there's the PlayStation Now. I'm pretty sure Xbox tried to do something. It was called, Project Cloud or Project X Cloud. I don't know if that ever took off or it's still in development. But, it looks like Amazon's trying to get its way in.
It's a really interesting concept, but it's really limited by the current technology available, namely the internet. If you can't get decent internet or reliable internet, you're not going to have a good time. So it's kind of like VR and AR games. Fun, interesting, and I guess it's going to be much, much bigger in the future, but not quite ready just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be interesting considering it's being advertised as a mobile thing, so you can play it, when you're out and about. How much data that would actually be chewing.
So I tried the PlayStation remote service over the Christmas break, and that was an interesting experience because while I was still in Brisbane, it worked pretty well for what I tried it on it. But the moment I started getting into places where there was less reliable internet and, more importantly, longer and longer latencies, it started running really bad, to the point that I was questioning whether or not it was going to be playable, but it wasn't staying connected long enough to even try. So, in terms of, I think the internet infrastructure is the biggest gateway here, and if it's anything like how PlayStation Remote works, or the PlayStation Remote Play or whatever it's called, then you need a very solid internet connection to make it workable.
Yeah.
And that's something that, at least here in Australia, there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah, I think internet is going to be their biggest thing, because they seem to really have everything else sort of down packed. Amazon is spread out, you got music and books and Twitch and everything, so they should be able to get a fairly good catalogue, whether it works.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, the one thing I'm looking at online's got one screenshot of it, and it's like, okay, so it's mostly smaller games, but it looks like it's actual PC games.
Yeah, I did see that, but then I also saw that it's only a rumor mill and there's nothing advertised. So I'm thinking people are just, cut and paste games together and made a title and like, oh, this is the new Amazon thing.
Okay, so there's nothing. It's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a unofficially unannounced secret that everyone knows, or...
Yeah.
Like, knowing Amazon, if it's possible, if there's a market, they will do it.
Yeah. Well, we can be pretty sure that Amazon will do it if there's money in it. But on the PlayStation Now service, I don't know. Well, even though it's not actually out in Australia, they actually let you download the games off of it now, so you don't need to stream. So it's a combination of PlayStation, like big library access as well as streaming service.
Yeah, so they're basically trying to make a Xbox Game Pass, but also make it a streaming service.
Yeah, so it's a bit of both. For some games it's just streaming, for some games it allows download. So, yeah, not 100% sure how that's going to go down, but it would be nice if it actually launched in Australia. I understand that they don't want to with the current internet state in Australia, but it would be nice if they tried.
Oh, is PlayStation Now, or Remote, not in Australia?
Remote is, Now isn't. So
Okay.
this is actually two different services. So Remote allows you to connect into your PlayStation from other devices from over the internet.
Is that on the same connection, the same IP or whatever?
No, so like I could from my phone remote, like while on 4G on my phone, access my PlayStation and play games.
Okay.
But it's got to be something that you've got on your console. You're basically just remotely accessing your console, is what PlayStation Remote lets you do. PlayStation Now is actually the streaming service / Game Pass style service where it's just here's a big back catalogue of games that you can freely download.
Yep.
So I sort of wish Sony would get some of this a bit cleaned up, but I understand that we're still a bit far away from it being like technology level in this country being ready for it. Alright. How about you, Raymond? You've been very quiet. Have you got any news you want to talk about?
He's asleep.
Died at the keyboard.
I'm sure you can still hear me tapping. You can also hear me.
I can hear you echoing through Anton.
I hear me and Anton. No. News isn't really my thing. I'm more of a hide in the closet because the news scares me kind of guy.
Yeah, that's not why you're hiding in the closet.
No, my news more consists of the stumbling, bumbling Theresa May still trying to do Brexit, Polish mayor stabbed and killed, Trump denying that he's a Russian agent even though, well, the news reports are saying otherwise.
Fake
And
news.
of course, classic ScoMo thinking he's going to win the Australian election when it comes around. Fucking what a laugh that is.
Such an old fogey there, Raymond.
Well, they're the only news I really read. If I want gaming news, I just wait for you to whinge about something.
You're looking at the wrong news.
Fake news?
Yep,
He's look-
it's all fake news.
I need to clearly watch Fox or read a Rupert Murdoch paper.
So, like, nearly every Australian paper.
Yeah, 80% of them. Fuck.
Alright.
I'm also
Well-
listening to some really groovy jazz music, and it's very relaxing. Don't buy City Skylines for the game. buy it for the groovy as fuck radio stations.
So just
Is
buy
that
it
the
for
same
soundtrack.
as every Grand Theft Auto game?
Yeah, pretty much actually. I would often sit in the roads in GTA there and just chill, listening to music, and then someone would be like, "The fuck you doing?" Then I'd run them down. So
Yeah, that's all you do in Grand Theft Auto. Just drive around town, hitting, killing things while listening to the radio.
heard actually. Now I'm pretty sure this is just a fucking rumor. I heard that there's actually a campaign in Grand Theft Auto.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you just go collect like 100 things around the map?
Yeah, and like kill people for their guns and money. I honestly thought that's all you did.
Crazy. Must be a
Fuck.
new thing.
Yeah,
They're trying to branch out.
trying to branch out. I mean, they're the same people who made Red Dead Redemption, and I thought that was just a testicle simulator, but hey, I mean, I'm down.
So anything else newsworthy, or should we move on?
Unless Anton's got something.
But nada.
It's his
Alright.
dick.
Well, let's move on to games. So, Raymond, what have you been playing for last month?
Hello. Ray Brown from SomeRaiders. What'd you say? Actually, I got distracted by myself.
God, I'm gorgeous.
This is the story of how
Is
Raymond
that
touches himself.
narcissism? I think
Sorry, I
that's
saw my
narcissism.
reflection in the computer monitor.
I caught myself looking at myself and I winked and oh my.
See, this is really bad because I have a shiny side to my PC. So
Ah, stop flirting with yourself, you. No. What did you actually ask? Something about me?
yeah,
What games you been playing?
Well, currently I'm in City Skylines building a city, listening to that grooviest fuck jazz music.
Oh god, we're
Relaxation
looping.
Station. Get on it. There is actually a jazz station, but I prefer Relaxation Station. It's superior. It's a superior station.
And that has been your whole month.
Yeah, my whole month is literally just playing City Skylines. No, I'm actually been keeping a really close eye on Civ 6. For those who aren't aware of it, if I take a book out of Cameron, page out of Cameron's
Game.
book.
A book out of Cameron. Why are you
I
stepping
usually pull books out of Cameron.
Where are you guys pulling entire books out of me? Do I want to know?
You're
Yeah, you
sleeping
do.
usually.
Pull it out of your ass. Just like I wish George Martin would pull out the fucking Winds of Winter, but fucking can't have that, can we? I'm not angry. So City Skylines is releasing a new expansion in February on Valentine's Day. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The
City
three people that watch this in
Skylines?
Idaho.
We were talking about Civ 6.
Oh yes. So honestly, City Skylines will probably do it as well. But Civ 6 is releasing a new expansion called Gathering Storm. And they're reintroducing a feature from Civ 4, which is natural disasters, like volcanoes and global warming. And hurricanes, sandstorms, blizzard. They're putting Blizzard Entertainment into the game.
Look, when you said Gathering Storms, that's a title of a Wheel of Time book.
Is this?
Actually, Gathering Storms is also the name of a Blizzard book, so...
Yeah, that's what they're doing. So they're adding a couple of new civs. One of them is the Orcs from World of Warcraft. And what's a race in the Wheel of Time? I must have I've never read it.
You don't actually have a
Alright,
story here.
elves? No, I can't remember.
Elves? I don't know, is the gunslinger in that story, or is he the Stephen King franchise?
I don't think at all there was a gunslinger.
Alright.
It's just
Confirmed.
like magic and
Gunslinger
stuff.
is actually in the Dark Tower. Okay. So there's a lot of new civs, like Canada and New Zealand.
Canada's our country.
Just Canada. The new game expansion is just Canada. You may think that there's Africa and the Aztecs, but it's just Canada. Praise be to Canada. So I'm really excited for that. I've been keeping up with that each week. Little teasers every week. I've been also staring at Battle.net, looking at the game I used to play. WoW. Unfortunately, though, it looks like there's a raid night tomorrow night, so that'll be fun.
Deep breaths.
Oh, I appear to be having an ad in the radio that I'm listening to, and they're asking me to buy some jelly, and I must say I am tempted.
Should we just come back to him?
I don't know what else I've been playing. Skylines, Civ, Stellaris, I guess? Oh, of course! Fuck! Battlefield! Yeah, I came back and played the campaign for our free viewers of Battlefield 1. That was really good. I'm a little bit irritated at the historical inaccuracy, but I'm okay with it because I'm upset, but it's a nice upset. Because it's been exaggerated for the purposes of entertainment factor. It's still quite violent and horrifying to play, and it's still realistic and historically realistic in that sense, but it's definitely still dramatized. So, I only nitpick about that campaign. Aside from that, I think I'm just not be playing anything else aside from Dota, and everyone knows what the fuck Dota is.
No, please explain in detail.
It's a brand of ice cream.
I've spent the last month just eating tubs and tubs of Dota. Dota is a
Okay,
game?
that's it.
It's
Your
a
time's
game.
up.
It's a MOBA. You play as one hero in a team of 5 against another team of 5. You cast abilities at each other. The game itself is a full release of a mod that Steam acquired from another mod that Blizzard helped make because they made Warcraft 3.
Oh, so you're saying Dota is a clone of Heroes of Storm?
Heroes of the Storm is dead. But
But it will live
no.
on forever in our hearts.
May heroes live on in our hearts, yes. Heroes of the Storm doesn't have any items that you can equip to your hero, or it also doesn't have individual leveling. Dota has individual leveling, so if you have a sack of shit on your team in Dota, they can be a sack of shit for the whole game. You don't have to carry them.
It also means that they become a very weak link to your team.
But
and
also they're worth like 100 gold, so it doesn't matter if they die.
Sounds like a game I would be good at.
Yeah, I'd happily give 100 gold to the enemy. Sorry, correction. I happily give 100 gold to the enemy team every time I play.
So, what has Cameron been doing?
me, I have been playing an ungodly amount of Stellaris.
He's going to play a multiplayer game with us, and he's going to ruffle stomp us with his surprise Empire of Man.
or whatever it's called. Yeah, when's that happening anyway?
Yeah, when is that happening? Cameron?
I play Stellaris plenty.
With us, you wank.
We'll work out something there. But yeah, I've always been hesitant about grand strategy games. I think it's mainly Civ and Total War that have just put me off the genre so hard. But there's something about Stellaris that's just making it super addictive.
I know what you mean about the Civ and Total War thing. For me, there's never going to be a Total War that is quite like Medieval 2 Total War.
Well,
All the other ones, they get dry. I cannot finish a campaign in any other Total War game. I get bored. Like, I'll hit this point in the campaign where I'm power rank 1. And I'm still like 40 regions away from victory, or if I'm doing a short campaign, 20, and I'm like, no matter what I do here, I'm going to win. Okay, bye.
yeah. I gotta admit, I don't like that. That's my biggest gripe with Stellaris. Actually, is that the game doesn't seem to end expediently. So, like, I'll have won long before the actual game declares me the winner. I'm in just a position that there is nobody left on the map that can challenge me. Arguably, even everybody together can't challenge me. But either I somehow have to storm across the entire map or just sit out the timer. So,
which is where mods come in.
Go away, you fucking mod addict. It's like a meth addict, but worse.
But I think the easiest way to explain how much this game has just gripped onto me is that I started playing this for the first time about mid-December.
Yeah, it was about a week or two before Christmas, yeah.
It is now my 6th most played game on Steam.
Okay, that's nice. How about you put an hour to that number, because...
It is, as of right now, 103 hours.
There you go. So in the space of a month, he's played 103 hours.
Yeah. Raymond, to put this in perspective for you, it's now knocked Supreme Commander 2 off of my list.
Ooh.
It's about to take Payday 2 off.
No! It's
Look,
Payday, fellas.
Cameron, that 1 month of you has knocked out my second highest game, which is only like 50 hours.
You've played 50 hours of Dota.
No, that's my third. My Dota was 25.
What's number 2? Because I know number 1 is Rocket League.
Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, alright.
And Rocket League is 500 hours.
Holy fucking shit.
It goes from 500 to 50.
Yeah, alright.
Like, if Stellaris knocks off the top couple of games off my most played list, then something is seriously wrong.
Wrong? I think you mean right.
Like,
Quite clear that Stellaris, the makers of Stellaris, have done something right.
yes, they've done something very right in my opinion.
But you probably should check yourself into a psychiatrist, because game addiction is unhealthy, Cam.
The thing is, though, it's so easy to just play while watching something on the other monitor.
Yes, I also watch things on my monitor while I play Stellaris.
Educational things.
I don't have a second screen, Mark. That's what I was getting at. Fuck.
You use your
Right.
phone.
Raymond gets distracted by himself while he's playing Stellaris.
I do. I catch myself in
And
the
also
mirror.
by a certain nurse.
Where are you going with that, Anton?
Throw the trash.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Stellaris has been the big one for the month. Otherwise, I finished off Spyro 2 and have started on Spyro 3 of the Reignited trilogy, and playing through them is making me realise that there is a good reason that 2 was my favourite, because I've actually starting playing 3 so soon after 2 and coming back at it at such an older age. I'm really realising that there's actually some pretty bad design in 3. There is actually a circumstance that you could get yourself into if you don't know what you're doing, where the only solution to you is to reload the game. Because I don't know if you guys have how much you guys have played, but as in both 2 and 3 there are a number of points where you have to pay money bags to get you through certain areas.
Yep. I think I remember that.
Now, this is a feature introduced in 2 and it's continued in 3. Now, in 2, nearly every scenario of this, well, the first couple of scenarios that this happens, there is always more gems before money bags than what he asks for, by a reasonable margin, like a decent amount more. And when it starts opening up into the main world area, there is like significant amount more gems than what he will ever ask for. So you don't even need to be anywhere close to playing this 100%. You could be doing this at like a 20 or 30% run, and you will have more gems than what Moneybags will ask you at any point. That actually breaks the game for you. There's a couple of points where it will make the decision of which path you go on because you don't have enough gems to go one specific way, but it doesn't stop you. In 3, on the other hand, one of the first 2 levels that is open to you, and there's nothing that forces you into one or the other, has a Moneybags part in it, and it is actually possible to make it to that point and not have enough gems available because there's not physically enough gems in that level before Moneybags to pay him. So if you go into that level first, if you just start the game and go straight for that portal and go into that level first, you actually won't have enough gems to pay Moneybags to finish that level, and your only option is to abandon the level.
Abandon ship!
So
Yeah, it just sounds like you're bad.
No.
It sounds like a problem with you.
I didn't get caught out on it, but I actually, when I realized what was happening, I went back and counted the gems. It was like, you actually could make it here and not have enough.
Maybe you're just bad at math.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm well renowned for being bad at math. I don't get paid to do math at all.
Yeah. Have you tried hooking up a Game Shark and just cheating?
Quality advice there by Mark. When things don't go your way, just cheat.
Or look at the cheat codes in the back of the PlayStation magazines.
The only other one I've really played this month that's worth talking about is In Death. And sadly, with neither Luke nor Graham here, this is actually a VR game, and with neither of them here, there's no real comparison point to make this discussion with, sorry. But
Blame Luke, he's a sack of shit. He insisted on changing the structure for this and then fucking dogged the boys.
okay.
Yep.
I was going to go with that we did it this night in part because those two wanted to.
Yeah, that too. They're like, yeah, Tuesday's a better night for us than any other night. I almost dated the video then. I almost dated it for January 15th.
Look, they don't know what country we're from. Tuesday could, be
Tuesday
24
could be
hours
America,
either way.
or could be New
Yeah,
Zealand.
the fact that I've already said Brisbane and Australia several times. Anyway, as a VR game, it's been pretty good.
You don't live in Brisbane.
No, I don't.
You live
No,
in
no.
Vegas. Hey! Sorry, fuck.
Like,
To die now.
what In Death has shown me is that there's one underlying theme between it and Beat Saber, which have got now the top 2 VR games I would recommend out there. That they're both games that were built around the VR mechanics. They both used they're both games that don't function without VR because the VR play is so integral to what they do.
You mean you're playing a VR game that actually does what the VR is supposed to do?
So, I've played games where VR has been added, and most of them end up being shit.
Skyrim!
I've heard Skyrim's good. I haven't actually played the proper VR Skyrim. So, maybe? I don't know. It is currently the most popular VR game, apparently.
Oh, fuck off, Beat Saber is.
No, apparently not.
Check those stats, boy. Gotta
So-
be Beat Saber.
Beat Saber is so tied to VR and especially the motion control part of the VR setup. And In Death is much the same. It is so tied to VR and the motion control thing because the entire game's about archery. Now, how do you properly do archery with anything other than motion controls in this situation? And motion controls add an awful lot to the art of performing archery. So, I think it's working really well, and I haven't played an awful lot of it yet, but it is one I want to play a bit with, and I was hoping that Graham and Luke would be here because I know Luke was looking at buying it. I don't know if he actually did, and it'd be interesting to hear what Graham's opinion is because he's played a bunch of other VR games.
Just forget about the expensive VR and play Link's crossbow training on the Wii.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
Thank you for that meaningful advice.
You're welcome. I'm here for Zelda trivia.
Oh,
That's what we keep you around for.
literally nothing else
Alright, Mark, what about you? What have you been playing this last month?
with himself.
Yes, that as well. I've been on holidays most of Christmas, so mobile games has been my game of choice.
Oh, fuck you.
I started a game called Rise of Civilization, which was a terrible choice.
I get advertisements for that. That's how bad it is.
It's a massive game. There's clans, and you gotta join a clan and build up your own city and like work together as a big group. And it's just so time consuming. It was a horrible game to start during Christmas. And if you get left behind, then you get like kicked out of your clan. They raid you and kill you, and
Wow.
it's pretty political. Like, you know, you got your leaders, your clan leader, and sort of tell you what to do, and like if you don't do it, you get kicked out. Then they try and raid you, and you have to teleport out before you die.
Is it actually other people, or is this AI that are doing this?
It's other people. It's a very pay-to-win game. Like, people like fork out hundreds of dollars to, you know, be in the top leaders, and they can like control the whole server. It's a pretty crazy and hectic game, and I gave up after 3 weeks, even though I dedicated so much time to it, and I was an officer in my clan, and I was like the top 10 clan out of the server. Also, Pokemon Go was my other mobile choice. I racked up my 50 kilometers a week every week, and a lot
Yes,
of
thankfully,
sitting on a beach on a Pokemon stop and a gym, just sitting there claiming it while watching people walk by and live their life.
I'm still disgusted at how you got it.
You see somebody walk by, pull out their phone, and you just walk over to them, and it's like, this is my gym.
Everyone relaxing and swimming on the beach, and here I am burning in the sun on my phone. But yeah, after I got home for Christmas, the game I've been playing is a... what would you call it? Like a management game?
A
city
game.
management, I guess. It's called
Skylines?
Graveyard Keepers.
Damn it!
It's sort of like Stardew Valley, except you run a graveyard, and you pull out all the intestines and skin and stuff off people and bury them. You also run a church, and you have to do your sermons every Sunday, which is interesting. But yeah, that's been my my month.
Alright. So, a bit of variety there.
Yeah.
Bit of sad stories on the mobile front.
Oh, why is it a sad story?
Because you're sad.
That you got bullied in a pay-to-win game.
Hey, I was doing an awesome free-to-play experience on a pay-to-win game. But yeah, if anyone feels like dedicating their entire life to a mobile game, Rise of Civilisations, check it out, guys.
Nope.
This is not a paid promotion.
We don't have enough.
Alright. Anton, how about you? What's your month been?
Oh, that'd be Stellaris.
Stellaris. That's correct. My entire month, well, not entire month, but mostly, have been all about Stellaris, and I've racked up a total of 779 hours, making it the most played game in my Steam library.
I mean,
And I am actually pretty proud of it.
I mock you both for the amount of time you've spent playing Stellaris, but just don't look at my Dota stats, please.
What's your Dota and Civ 6 like?
Civ 6 is actually quite tame. Civ 6 is just a casual 292 hours, and Civ 5 is 219.
Yeah, so is that all you
450,
played,
500?
Civ 6 and 5? Have you played the other ones?
No, I don't play 4. 4's a bit too old for me. But Dota, 2,738 hours.
Yeah,
That's over 6 years, though, to be fair. 6 years.
Hey,
Don't shake your head at me.
Anton's got 700 hours in 4 weeks.
What? Wait, no, it's
To
not
be-
in 4 weeks.
No, if you took his statement literally.
Oh, okay, alright.
And I have a screenshot somewhere, Raymond, of you having like ridiculous hours on Dota, but that may actually be true nowadays.
What?
Of when your Steam bugged out and said you had like 4,000 hours or something.
Yeah, no, it's just, I'm getting close to 3k, actually.
That's sad.
Not, it's 6 years of gaming.
It's really sad that League of Legends doesn't have like a metric like that, because I am pretty sure that over the course of 8 years, I would have racked up more than 3,000 hours.
Look, I would be interested to know how long it took childhood me to completely finish Ocarina of Time Zelda. I was pretty bad at games.
In other news, I've been looking at, or rather, I've been playing an indie game called Geneforge. It's a series of 5 games, dungeon crawler, and it runs surprisingly well on modern systems, despite being a really old game.
Alright. So, good dungeon crawler, or?
It's a really good dungeon crawler. It's difficult. It's not one of those games where you can just blaze through everything. You actually have to use strategy, and every choice in the game matter. And there's actually a bit of science to it, because, like the name suggests, Geneforge, you basically
making
play
no
as a
measurements.
magician who can create life. And with the ability to create life comes with responsibilities, and the entire plot revolves around 2 groups of people, kind of like how politics is these days. Some people want the power for everyone, and the other group says that no, the power has to be kept for like a certain group of responsible people.
I don't know of a single government system that's like that at all, Anton. I think you're high.
Communism?
Look, when you said the ability to control life, I thought you were going to follow it with the ability to control death.
Yeah, so
With great power comes great responsibility.
I also thought you were going to go, oh yeah, it's actually Darkest Dungeon, lol.
with great power comes hot bitches.
I thought this
No,
was-
that's basically North Korea.
I thought this was going to go a very different way when Anton was like, I've been playing a game about this man with a magical stick and 2 groups of people.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
And it's about creative
Depends on
life.
the agenda.
Boy.
But yeah, it's a game I would definitely recommend to anyone. It's honestly, it's a bit expensive for what it is, but it aged well.
Aged like a fine wine.
You're a fine wine.
I'm a fine winer.
Wayne Wiener.
So,
Wiener.
yeah, what else? Anyone got any games they want to play in the future?
Yeah.
I want to play with you.
Actually, yes, Halo Infinity. That's gonna be
Oh,
the
that'd
first
be
Halo
interesting.
game. Oh, I hate you.
Why?
No, but seriously, it's the first Halo game besides Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, which is, let's face it, basically the same game. The first Halo game since that, or the original Halo game that's going to be on PC, so that's pretty big.
No, they released Halo 2 on PC.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
It counts. Anton's like, no, this is my moment. It doesn't count.
It is so limited and hard to get.
Yeah,
Hard to get.
like, I'm looking forward to a Halo game actually being released on PC. I was sort of holding out that they would actually release Master Collection or whatever, or Master Chief Collection.
I'm hoping they release it on their Xbox Anywhere. I think it's Anywhere Play or Play Anywhere.
Yeah,
Where if you buy it on Xbox or PC, you can play it on both.
yeah. So I know Microsoft's got a policy now that everything has to support that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good, and that's why it's like, well, Halo 6 inevitably has to come on PC then, because otherwise Microsoft's breaking their own policy with their own major game.
Yeah, actually, like, that policy, it has made me regret buying some games on Steam. Like, I bought it on Steam and I was like, oh, maybe I should have done the Microsoft Store so I could play it on Xbox.
Yeah.
I honestly just want to see a return to form for the Halo story. I don't want this blibber blabber that we had that was Halo 5.
You don't want a Halo without the Master Chief.
No, I didn't mind playing as a new character. What I did mind is that they hyped up the fucking conflict between the Chief and this new Spartan fella, Locke. And it basically resulted in a minor scuffle, some angry words, and that was it.
Basically, 2 kids in the playground.
Especially
You're
given
a
that
meanie. No, you are. Shoves Master Chief. Shoves Locke.
Shoves Locke.
Yeah. I was expecting a fucking biffo. I was expecting the Chief to go full angry mode.
I was actually expecting something really significant, because if you remember
A couple lukewarm tea.
the entire amp up of Master Chief Collection was that it was the Arbiter going through with Locke over all of Chief's old missions to work out where things went wrong and whether or not he had alternative plans. It's like, oh, so there's like they're trying to lay down this super deep story coming through, and he's been a bad guy from the beginning. It's like, nope.
He just chucked a fucking tantrum.
Yep.
I had a feeling that they were going to do something major with the Chief.
And then
Halo
just
5
backed out.
Finding Nemo edition.
For some reason, they just... Either it was development time issues, or the admin of Microsoft was like, release Halo 5 or else.
No, I don't think it would have been. I reckon they would have actually just... Somebody made the call that they're not allowed to vilify the Chief.
Then vilify fucking Locke. Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already, spoilers, vilifying Cortana. Although it's a 4-year-old game. If you haven't played the fucking game by now, you're an idiot. You deserve a harmonica.
But yeah, so I can promise you that this game, Halo Infinity, will rack up more hours than, almost every other game I own.
Why?
If it comes out on the Xbox One, I probably would play it. If they wait until they release another console, I might play it on PC.
My question is, will it be cross-platform? Because I know a lot of games don't do that.
Well, the question's going to be
Wouldn't
whether or
be
not
for a shooter.
it'd be really strange for them to do a Halo game cross matchmaking. Like at this point in time, it's pretty much confirmed that it's coming out on PC, but whether or not the matchmaking enforces you to run a controller on PC, or maybe they segment it, don't know, but I really suspect we're not going to have a situation where they let you freely match between controller and keyboard people.
Look, guys, this isn't Fortnite, okay?
I really, really want a really bloody good plot for Infinity.
What kind of got big plots?
Cortana has a pair of huge plots of land. Arguably 4, I guess, if you look at it from both ways.
You know what has really good plot? Dream Daddy Dating Simulator.
God.
I knew it was coming. No. Actually, yeah, Mark, we're
another
going
one
to do a
would be-
review of that one.
Farming Simulator, by that I mean WoW.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to play Farming Simulator.
WoW
Not-
is the
not
ultimate
WoW.
farming simulator.
I don't want to play WoW. I want to play Farming Simulator.
Yeah, Farming Simulator is actually pretty fun.
It is a lot of fun. I've seen so many videos on it. It's a lot of dumb fun.
Yeah.
Alright. Anton, any others that you're looking forward to this year?
Oh,
I just want life to end.
Hmm?
what?
What was that, Anton? I feel like Anton's ending himself.
He said, I just want my life to end.
Oh, wow.
Is that what he said?
Okay.
That was
Mark?
actually, I want Cyberpunk.
I'm down for whatever Anton said.
Yeah, let's end our lives after Cyberpunk comes out.
Hey,
Uh,
what was the question though?
What are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to the Anthem beta, or whatever it is, public testing.
I might be able to play it after my birthday.
Why are you so
Yes.
worried about the beta? The actual game releases in a month and a week.
Does it?
Within a week.
Yeah, the release date's 22nd of February.
Ah,
Until,
okay. I just
late-
wanted to see if it was any good.
How long's the beta?
Like a week and a half or something?
Rip, I'm not
It was
playing
like
that then.
February something, the beta
Oh,
was
no.
getting released.
Start of February then.
Maybe I will.
To be entirely fair, we're going to get the actual game included with Premiere.
Yeah,
I know.
but I don't want to like anticipate the game coming out and then find out it's shit. I want to anticipate the beta coming out and find out it's shit.
That's true.
Uh,
After all, technically it's free, I guess.
Let's be honest, I wanted to play Sea of Thieves, and like, no guys, it's just the beta, it'll get better, and then no one wanted to play.
and then,
Look,
no,
Sea of
then it
Thieves.
turned out it was shit.
No, stop. Sea of Thieves in the last 7 or 8 months has had a lot of content updates. It's apparently not that bad anymore.
I played it single player, but I got over it.
It had a
It's,
similar level of content to No Man's Sky.
Yes, they've apparently rectified that quicker than No Man's Sky could put men in the sky.
Apparently, they didn't realize men have been in the sky before.
No!
Fuck.
Anything else, Mark?
Not really. I don't think there's any big stuff that's been announced. There's the new Metro game, but to be honest, I've bought the first 2 and I still haven't played them all the way through.
Yep. The giant pile of shame that is Steam libraries.
So like, I feel like I shouldn't buy the 3rd one because I didn't get through the first 2, and I just feel bad for myself.
2077.
I think Raymond wants to talk about Cyberpunk.
No, I just want the game.
Look, I still haven't finished Witcher 3.
That's okay.
Or Witcher 1 and
Cyberpunk's-
2 for that matter.
Witcher 1 is okay, you don't have to play that one. It's hard. It's a really hard game to play. It has not aged well. You know how you
But
have,
I
like,
got it for free on
cheese?
Steam, I must
I-
play it.
I remember starting to play Witcher 1, getting like maybe an hour and a half in and going, you know what, this is actually really fucking boring. Stop.
It is. Witcher 1 is so incredibly hard to play. It's a bit bad. The voice acting's shit. The combat has to be one of the worst forms of combat I've ever seen in my entire life. Beyond garbage.
Tell us
Yeah,
how you
that-
really feel.
That was really rough to try and play.
Witcher 2 is nice, and Witcher 3 is the king of RPGs.
Look,
At the moment,
I'll be
nothing's
honest,
better.
I haven't gotten through much past, like, you do the tutorial with that little girl.
That's like 2 minutes long.
The way I play it, that was half an hour.
You run down the walls with her. Did you get stuck at Yennefer and just have a wank?
Yep, that's
She's
Mark.
Quite
naked at the
possibly.
starting scene.
That's Mark.
Oh my lord.
Look, that's teenager me playing the first God of War, and there was boobs on the ship.
Oh yeah, just don't leave the ship, I guess.
Tentacle monster? No, save the woman with boobs.
Yeah, confirmed. Ah, dear. No, I'm just super duper keen for Cyberpunk, and we're gonna get some news this year. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my loins.
In your loins. Wow.
Yes.
You're expecting sexual content?
I am expecting a lot of sexual content. There's Poland, and Poland has looser morals than Australia.
Well, any others for you, Raymond? Raymond?
The person you had called is not available. No, I think that's it. Legit, the only game I want, Cyberpunk. I think we're good though.
Oh. Anton is messaging that he needs to bail out
That's
soon.
fine,
so
Cameron. We also understand the art of subtlety and wrapping things up cleanly without pointing out why we're wrapping things up.
we still have a bit of content to go, so I was just saying, in the event that Anton wants to drop out,
I don't think.
thank you for coming, Anton.
Fuck off, Anton. I guess.
Oh,
Hi, Anton. Enjoy your date.
Having a
It's not a
date.
date. It's not a date.
It's a date. Beck.
Look,
Anton's
all I
having
can
a
see is
date.
a message from Anton. I have a dinner date that isn't really a dinner date.
You need to.
All I'm assuming
poke
is
him.
that's a booty call.
Get
It's
pictures.
not really dinner, and it's a bit more than a date.
It's definitely just a booty call. And
It's
he's gonna
actually his
fall
wedding.
asleep. What? Is that a picture of the date? Beck, give me the phone. Quick, give me the phone. Photo acquired of date.
So, are we wrapping up?
I'll wrap you up.
Or is
big
only
boy.
Anton wrapping up?
Anton,
I don't
lay
know.
down some sick beats. We gotta wrap you up.
The only two games I was going to add to the list you guys have already given for the next month was going to be Ace Combat 7. Which
I saw that, but I haven't played the 1 to 6.
I played 7. Played 3, and I think it was 5.
Played it before it was released.
I played 7.
I've played 8.
I played 3 a huge amount back on the PlayStation 1 era, and I think it was 5. It may have been 6. It must have been 5 because it was a PlayStation 2 era game. I'm pretty sure. And I was a big fan of the series, so hearing that a new one was coming, I've been keeping an eye on it for ages, and it's actually releasing this week, so it will be out before this video goes up for PlayStation. But I think I'm going to sit on this and wait for the PC version, because apparently it's also getting a VR mode that will be exclusive at launch to PlayStation, but hopefully coming to everything else later. And from the reviews so far, it's apparently fantastic.
Well, that's good. What's the other game?
The other one, and this one's in about a week and a half, is Battlefleet Gothic 2. So, for those that don't know, this is a Warhammer 40k game, and there goes Anton.
Yeah, we said goodbye, but you didn't say goodbye, Cameron. That's what he was waiting for. He was
Oh.
waiting for you. Why couldn't you say goodbye?
Something. Okay, that's an interesting message. Anyway, yeah, for those that don't know, it's a Warhammer 40k one, and it's actually the first Warhammer 40k game in quite some time that's actually pushing the storyline of the Warhammer universe forward.
No. You mean something's actually going to happen to the fucking potato hooked up to his chair?
Essentially, the establishing canon so far is that the Emperor is the Golden Throne is slowly failing, and with it, ultimately, the Emperor will die, and that one of the Emperor's sons has been, one of the Primarchs, which is effectively his sons, has been resurrected.
Oh, resurrected or resurrected? Oh, show myself out.
But it's already been pretty well revealed, but minor spoilers for those that haven't seen it yet. It basically it starts off with the Imperium getting wrecked at Cadia by Abaddon's forces. So yeah, pretty keen to see how that one goes, and I'm thinking that one's going to be worth jumping into.
Something that advances the plot of a storyline that's been seized up for like 10 fucking years. Hello.
Also, it's just apparently, the first one was, apparently I never really played it, but an exceptionally good strategy game, and the Dawn of War series was also exceptionally good. So, I'm looking forward to giving it a crack.
That sounds cool. While I was ignoring everything you said about a 4K game, I was Googling 2019 releases and found a game I actually want to play. I've been waiting for it for like at least 2 years.
Dream Dead Simulator
From
2.
Moon Studios, the sequel Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh.
It's a little 2D, 3D platformer
Sequel to Ori
with
and the Forest,
some awesome
right?
art and music, and
Yeah. Is that Ori and the Forest sequel?
Yep.
Nice.
Ah.
So
When's that
I think it's an Xbox exclusive because I'm pretty sure their studio got bought out by Xbox.
Okay.
And I'm assuming it's play anywhere, so you'd either have to play it on Windows Store or Xbox. Or it
When's
might
that
come out on Steam or Epic Games, you never know.
When's it coming out?
It doesn't say, it just says 2019.
Okay. So
And
probably the back half.
Yeah, and it's been on the Xbox AnyPlay list for like a year, just saying coming soon.
Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon.
Yeah,
Coming
yeah.
sooner.
Yeah, keen for that.
Yeah. That should be good.
You'll be good.
Just looking a bit further down the list, and there's an interesting double load in the middle of the year of, in May we're getting the sequel, the next Sonic racing game, so essentially what will be the successor to Sonic Racing Transformed, which
Which is a pretty good game.
is it was a very good game in my opinion, and probably one of the best kart racing style games on PC.
How dare you?
Since
What?
Crash Tag Team.
Well, on PC, because like if you look at it, Team Racing the Crash Racing series was console exclusive, mainly PlayStation, and Mario Kart was a Nintendo exclusive. So I would argue that following those two, it's probably, in my opinion, the best series of kart style racing games. Does that appease you, Mark?
Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a PC game of like Mario Kart with a raccoon, but I'll give you that.
And then in the next month, in June, so exactly 31 days later, Crash Team Racing's remaster is coming out.
Okay.
So we've got two awesome kart racing games coming out a month apart in the middle of the year.
What was the second one? Sorry, I forgot.
The Crash Team Racing remaster.
Oh, baby. Oh. That's the shit.
So, yeah,
Shit.
that should be a solid middle of the year.
Look, Cameron, I would argue the MS-DOS kart racer Wacky Wheels was the best ever kart game, but we'll
Wacky
agree to
Wheel.
disagree.
Wacky Wheels was good, I'll agree to that. I actually will agree to that.
I feel like he suggested it as a joke, Cameron.
I'm genuine, I really enjoyed Wacky Wheels.
Well, I really enjoyed you, so...
Oh, thank you. Well, we did have the general discussion and pop culture stuff still, but otherwise we've been pretty well abandoned by the other four.
Fuckers!
Except Anton, who did
Anton
tough it
has a
out for
date.
quite a while for us. So Anton
He's
gets
been awake
past the
for
other three.
24 hours flying from Hong Kong to Helsinki, and now he's having a date, so...
Yeah. Did you guys have any major other stuff to talk about, or shall we wrap this one up a bit early?
I reckon wrap it up.
Lay down a sick beat for... I'll lay down the sick beat, you rap.
Go, Mark, rap. Rap to that.
I am wrapping my ears in headphones.
Okay. We'll spare everybody from any more of that. Thanks for coming, guys.
I appreciate you in all of your forms.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Mainly your final form.
Yeah, I have no fucking time for that filler shit, honestly.
We're skipping right to episode 23.
Oh boy.
Yep. Hopefully we'll scrunch together a few more for the next one, but yeah.
You say scrunch together, but maybe if they actually attended when they said, yeah, I'll be there, I'll be there.
And we're just going to keep paying them out.
Well, we don't know what Luke's doing. He's like, oh yeah, can we have a format? And then he's just said nothing.
Actually, he didn't even respond to it, did he?
He will not listen to this. I mean, he might, if he has nothing to do.
Come on, guys. Alright.
I still appreciate you, Luke, in most of your forms.
We can edit that out.
Okay. We'll fix it in post, lol. Toodaloo.
Alright. Catch us next time.
See ya.